Hey, Jim.
Hey, Tony.
Nice shirt. Oh, sorry. Hey, this week, let's talk about creating a tax planning workflow from the great Don Brolin on this episode of TaxProTalk, or hashtag TPT. We're glad to have you here today. And today we're going to be talking about creating an advisory workflow. So your firm actually leads with planning services, tax planning, advisory. You do that all year long. You're engaging in business coaching with clients. Tell us what kind of a workflow you've created within your office to kind of support that advisory service.
Sure. Yeah, we have, kind of made that decision probably a year or two ago that we wanted to work with clients who wanted to grow a business. And it was important to us that for those clients who just wanted their books done to have a tax return done, didn't fit our mold anymore. And so we implemented some systems where, we'll look at the financials with our clients on a monthly or a quarterly basis to get that pulse of their business throughout the year, so that if we see a jump or a decrease, we're able to recognize that earlier than later. Mm-hmm. And, getting that information after the year is over, and it's funny that everyone always says that we're always looking backwards, which is true. That's been the historical tagline for accountants for years. Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of like, hey, we've got that what happened thing down, so let's now just focus on what happened, but then say, well, what do we need to do moving forward? And so that communication, that conversation has to be had. So we've really focused on that.
Yeah, that's great. So really starting, instead of looking backwards, looking forward more.
Right.
Great. And so, even from a tax perspective, does having those online books enable you to finish the returns faster?
Oh, absolutely. We find that when we go into QBOA, we know what the closing date password is. And of course, we always put a closing date password on. That's a great tip for those of you who don't know that. And you can kind of see that if you go into QBOA and see your bookkeeping clients. And as the CEO and the person who really does the tax planning and talking to the clients in that advisory role, I look at those dates regularly. And if I see someone a couple months behind throughout the year, now I'm yelling at the small business division of my team, like, hey, why isn't this up to date? Because on January 1st, you should be only reconciling the previous month. You shouldn't be catching, that's not a catch-up scenario. There should not be that process. Right. And so we had to cull out some clients. We had to, get rid of the ones that just didn't want to comply, be in compliance with our rules, not just, tax rules.
Sure.
And so, we really kind of put that system in place, and being online and having all of our information in one place has really helped us.
That's great. And so that reduces the number of business extensions you have in your firm?
Yes. It's so exciting to not have, I think I have 7 left.
Wow.
And historically, there's at least 30 people on extension.
Wow.
And so, and part of it is our demand of, we're not going to take it anymore. That song, I forget who sings it, but, we're just not going to take it. That's our attitude has changed things. And I think that's helped our clients change their attitudes about their business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it helps get work done sooner, probably create some additional capacity later in the year for your firm. So some good things there. Let's talk a little bit about the deliverables that we used to give them. Financial statements, bound up nice financial statements with a report on it. Has any of the deliverable changed since you've moved online and you're engaging with these clients more?
Yeah, and actually I love that question, because moving people to the technology and having the online functionality, the ability to look at things more real time than we ever could before, instead of just printing compilations and handing them over, or even just, people still email that stuff, which I think is wild.
Yeah.
But utilizing other functions to do that, we now are able to have that communication with our clients regularly. And so we love to FaceTime them, because a lot of them, they're in Pennsylvania, they're in California, they're from all over the country. We have the FaceTime, but then we utilize the GoToMeeting, and we open up their live file and pull reports. If they have questions, we can drill into them, and we discuss the numbers instead of a hard copy PDF, a hard copy or a PDF that is not dynamic.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability to drill into it. So we go right into the product, and if they've never been in the product, historically, they've never even touched the accounting system, they've gotten an experience of how they can go pull their own reports instead of me just hand feeding them. And so that's been that communication has really been special for us.
I love that. I love this. So doing more video meetings, really engaging with them, answering business questions.
Right.
And even doing some training along the way to kind of coach them along.
Right.
Love that. Love that. And would you say that for the clients that you've moved online, are they seeing a better experience either in time saved or just kind of in terms of the information they're getting out of it than when they were working on the desktop?
You know, I think that they have that real-time information right on their phone, for instance. We always say that, right? But they do. They have the ability to accept payments on their phone. They're able to get a push notification when they get paid if they've sent an invoice out. So they're able to, like, I know when I wake up and I see somebody's paid me, I get all giggly. Like, I mean, I'm not working for nothing, right? So, you know, giving them that a little bit more control.
Yeah.
Instead of, I mean, automation is awesome.
Yeah.
But when you can still touch and feel it when you're on the road, I think is priceless. And it's not that dependability of the ball and chain, which is the desktop.
Right. And I love that. And I love that you're focusing on things that are important to small business, like cash flow, like getting paid, like invoicing, which, let's face it, they don't care as much about taxes and accounting,
Right.
Which we do,
Right.
Which is awesome. So do you still have clients on desktop, QuickBooks Desktop?
We do, yes. I mean, I
And
do.
you still support them?
We do absolutely still support them. You know, for various reasons they stay on the desktop. Some of them don't want to learn anything new. Okay, you know, when they're ready, they'll be ready. We do still support desktop. I've always proclaimed to be the desktop lover. Let's all be real, and I still love it. But we do support QBO clients. I mean, I moved my firm's file to QBO in January of this year because I feel like I'm a better consultant, I'm a better advisor to my clients because now I know both products. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in both products, but I know enough as a business owner how it has affected the way I operate. And so it makes it easier for me to say, well, I really love the push notifications, or I seem to get paid faster for invoices when I email them and I get the notification back and it comes right into QBO. So I'm able to give them that instead of my heels being dug in, which, you know, my heels are actually almost worn out from doing it. You know, I've embraced the opportunity. And I don't want to not be able to help a small business because I'm stuck on the desktop. And so that's just, I've kind of opened, I don't know if you guys would say I've grown up.
Yeah.
You say I've grown up a little bit as a professional, that it's not just about me, it's really, ultimately, it's always about the client.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we do have to change. We got to grow and adopt new technologies and things. So I love that. I think that's great coaching. We have a lot of customers out there who are using QuickBooks Online, but they're not necessarily recommending it or loving it, and they're struggling with it. So I think you've got some good recommendations in there to maybe adopt their own set of books on there. And when you put your own in there, you learn to eat the dog food that you're sharing with your clients. It makes it different. So
yeah, it's just like raising kids. You know, I tell them not to drive 90 miles an hour. I hope that they don't.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing it, they're going to do, it's just that don't do as I say, do as I do, or vice versa. And so for me, if I'm recommending things to my clients, unless it's an industry specific solution, I better be using it if I'm recommending it. Otherwise, I'm a liar.
Yeah.
And I'm against fraud.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be a fraud to my clients either. So, I try to strive to be the best I can for them.
Great, love that. Thank you for sharing with us how you create an advisory workflow within your office and sharing with our other pros. So great to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to hang out with Jim Buffington.
All right, thanks for watching another episode of TaxProTalk or #TPT.